Oh my gosh, look where we are, and I brought Shelby with me for this edition of Tell Me Why.
I'm so glad to get to come along on this road trip. This is so much fun.
A lot of fun.
And we've got a lot of great questions today from a lot of the students in the 4 states, and so we brought a great question answerer. It's Joey Powell, who does a lot of the public relations and marketing for the Dickerson Park Zoo in Springfield. So let's start things out real quick with what PR means, what public relations means. A lot of our viewers are a little on the young side. They may not know what kind of job you do. You don't feed the animals, although you could if you wanted to.
Sometimes I get to, but here's the easiest explanation. I get to tell really great stories and share really great stories about Dickerson Park Zoo.
And you love it.
I love it. It is so much fun, and I've learned so much. So I get to hang out with the zookeepers and share their stories and the animal stories, and it's like being in school every day.
And Shelby, didn't I hear you guys talking that this is like a dream job for Joey?
Yes, I love hearing how you got started in this. I mean, it just couldn't have, the stars couldn't have aligned any better. Tell us real quickly about that.
So I had volunteered for the zoo for years. I've been here about 10 years. In June will be 10 years. And I worked in advertising, and my husband said, "What's your dream job?" And I said, "Oh, my dream job would be PR and marketing for Dickerson Park Zoo, but I don't think it will ever come open." And 2 weeks later, I got a text message from the developmental director at the time. And here we are.
And that is a
And
true story.
It's a true story. And 10 years later, I love it as much as I did the very first day. I absolutely love it.
And what that means is dream whatever you want to dream, because you might find yourself doing that very thing just like Joey
Well,
did.
the crazy thing is, if somebody would have told me 11 years ago that I would be doing this and that I had held snakes and held a baby cheetah and watched a giraffe be born, or that I was doing any of these things, or getting to meet
Wow.
people from Joplin and get to talk about the zoo, I would have laughed. So, you know, who knows what you're going to wind up doing, kids? Who
Very
knows?
good point.
It's there, and it could be 5 different things in your lifetime, 10 different things. It's, you know, but the big thing is, when I was in college, I said yes to a volunteer opportunity, and that led me here. So, volunteer.
I love that. That is a great thing to say and a great way to live your life. And what you have done, what Joey has done, is she's lined up a bunch of experts, because we've got all these questions from these very smart children here in the 4 states. We're going to get them answered by all the people you lined up for us. Thank you for doing
very
that.
smart zookeepers and animal care staff. They're great.
Well, we can't wait to go around and meet them all and learn about all of this. It's
All
gonna be
right,
so
so
much fun.
let's get some questions answered. Here we go with Tell Me Why.
My name is Zoe. I'm 8 years old. My question is, what would be the smartest animal if they all could talk?
Oh man, what a fantastic question. I don't know how to answer this, and so we went straight to the experts, right,
Exactly.
Shelby? This is Andrea, who is one of the zookeepers here at the zoo. And what part of the zoo do you keep?
I am a zookeeper for our birds and our mammals, actually. So.
And this is one of the mammals.
Yes. for
Introduce us.
sure. So this is Millie. She was actually hand raised by us because her mom died actually the day after she was born. So she's a lot
really?
more social with us than a lot of our other female giraffes. She loves being up in our faces and saying hello and getting food from us. She loves
I can see
people
that.
so
There's
much.
a little drool on your
Yeah.
shoulder, and she's. I'm afraid she's going to get the microphone too, along with this. But
She will grab just about everything, honestly.
Yeah.
She thinks it's food.
So
Of
you
course.
heard the question.
Yeah.
What's your answer to that? Because I know what I would think, but it's probably wrong.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I feel like if animals could talk, monkeys would definitely be the smartest. They are some of the most emotionally and physically intelligent animals that we care for here at the zoo. they're able to strategize and honestly feel some emotions that we do as humans, and so it's rather challenging to try and train them and communicate with them as a keeper for sure, just because they're so smart and they are able to strategize against us if we're having bad days, and also they're able to help us have better days, obviously, just because they know us as keepers when we spend time with them. So, but other animals that are smart, giraffes are very smart.
Let's not leave Millie out.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. These guys can actually communicate at a lower frequency than the human ear can hear. So it's very important for us to, as keepers, pay attention to body behavior and the way that they move, because we can't hear their communications. So it's important for us to take a look at their ears, their posture, the way that if their nostrils are flared or if they're not flared, and tail flicks are another thing that you can pay attention to look for signs of frustrations or stress, or if they're happy, things like that. So.
Okay, I have a crazy question. You're gonna get a bunch of these from me, okay? Do you think sometimes these animals are talking about us to each other?
Yes.
Seriously.
They plot against you.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I definitely feel that way. A lot of times, especially with our primate troops that we have here, if you enter into an exhibit with them with more than one person, a lot of times they'll stand back and kind of stay farther away from us because they're like, oh, this is a new person. I don't know what you're going to do. And some of our monkeys actually have, like squirrel monkeys, the squirrel monkeys that we take care of here, they have a series of up to 33 different vocalizations that they use to communicate with each other. So very, very impressive. These guys use a lot of different positions, body postures, and stuff like that to communicate as well. So the animal world is just truly fascinating.
It is
honestly.
fascinating.
They're
Okay, so when
smart.
you say the different, like, what does it mean when their nostrils are flared?
Typically, that's more of a they're frustrated. They're frustrated about something.
Same with the flick of the tail.
Yes, if their ears are pinned back, a lot of times they're a little upset. They use their ears for a lot of things, so you can tell kind of if they're interested in something or something new is there, they'll bring their ears to the front just to kind of get more hearing.
Kinda like now.
Just understand things a little bit more.
So take a look at Millie and tell us what you think Millie is thinking about right now.
She's definitely just thinking about crackers. She just wants the food for sure. She's very focused on those. She's asking for that with her ears and her tongue, obviously. They have super long tongues that they use to grab things with. And she's pretty relaxed right now. You can tell that by her posture. She's probably just flicking off some flies right now. But yeah, she's
That tongue
relaxed.
looks like it's going to go right around your wrist.
So if this happens and I get pulled in, then Shelby's going to do the rest of the show.
I guess so.
Thank you, Andrea. I think are we ready for another question?
Yeah.
Let's hear what we got.
Hi, my name is Maria, and I am 9. Tell me why animals do not talk.
Hey, here we are is this an operating room, Dr. Nestor?
I like to call it our treatment room. So we kind of do everything here. We don't have a separate operating room. So it is an operating room, but it's also just for exams.
Okay, sounds good. And this is Dr. Nestor. Dr. Nestor is a vet here at Dickerson Park Zoo. So tell us just a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I am the associate vet here, and so I get to see all the animals. We take care of all of them. I've been here about 2.5 years. I'm not from the area, but here specifically for Dickerson Park Zoo, so
I bet you love your work here, don't you?
it's a lot of fun. It's something different every single day, which is great. Keeps me on my toes.
I
All right.
bet.
So have you ever been in a position where you have to answer questions from very, very intelligent school children in the 4 states?
I don't think so, not yet.
Another new thing for you on this day. So you heard the question, we all heard the questions. Why can't animals talk?
Yeah, so animals can talk. They just don't talk in a way that you really understand. So they communicate with each other. depending on what kind of animal, if a cat meows, that's it communicating. It's just not speaking a language that you understand. And they speak with their body language too. So you can tell if your cat or dog at home is happy or upset because of the way that they're behaving, right? So a tail wag, you know that they're having a good time, whereas a cat hissing means that it's probably upset. So they do talk, they just don't talk in a way that you understand.
But really, they're giving us the signals, and especially if you do a little research, you know what it is, what that means. I know when that tail is flipping, or when, you know, when that my cat makes a certain meow, I know what that means. So I do kind of speak their language now.
Exactly. And our elephants, they trumpet, and that's kind of their vocalization. But then again, they have those body language cues and things that show if they're upset or comfortable or how they're feeling. So they just don't speak English or any other language that we speak, but they do communicate, and if you watch them long enough, you kind of learn what those mean.
So this makes me wonder. Animals, you see them at a zoo, a wonderful zoo like this where we are today, or even at home. Do animals speak to each other and other animals differently than the way that they attempt to communicate with humans?
I think they do. I think that kind of your animal at home, your pet at home, is going to come up to you differently than they're going to come up to another cat or dog, right? So my cats like to bat each other around, but that's not how they interact with me. They more rub on me and purr, but that's not how they interact with each other. So they learn what they want from you and then how to communicate with each other as well.
Yeah, that sounds to me like they're smarter than we think they are. Do you agree with that? You're a vet.
I think so. I think that animals are very smart. Even our birds that we make fun of for having small brains sometimes, they're very smart. They know where their food is, where their home is. Our geese come back to the same spot every year. So I think they're a lot smarter than people like to give them credit for.
So when they call me a bird brain, that's a bad thing, because our producer, Priscilla Mays, I've talked about her a few times on this show.
Yes, you have.
She's calling me a bird brain all the time. I thought she liked birds and she was being nice to me.
Oh, Gary.
I think it is nice. You know, I just said they're smarter than people think.
Oh,
so I
there
think
you
you're
go.
lucky here.
There you go.
Woo, that makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I think we've got another question for you, so let's find out what that is.
Hi, I'm Rosaria, and I'm 7 years old. How do you help sick pets as a vet?
Oh man, such a perfect question for you, Dr. Nestor. Rosario wants to know, how do you help sick pets or animals, as in the case of the zoo?
Yeah, so just like when you're sick, you want to go to the doctor and get checked out, and they're going to do a physical exam, they're going to listen to your heart and lungs, look in your eyes and ears and mouth. We do those same things with pets and animals. So I do that with the animals at the zoo. Your dog and cat vet does that with your dog and cat when you bring it to them. So we do that full, what we call a physical exam, where we're just seeing what's going on with the body. And then to investigate further, we may need to take x-rays or get blood or take a fecal sample. We're looking for parasites.
That's poo.
Yeah, poo sample.
Yes, it is.
So we take all those same samples and get those same images that your doctor gets, and kind of do the same workup to find what's going on, and then we have similar medicines to help treat them and make them feel better.
And it seems to me like the big difference here between people and animals, or the zoo animals that they have here, is that people can communicate with their doctors. Animals can't say, hey, my thing hurts. So how do you overcome that situation with animals?
It definitely makes it harder when they can't tell you exactly what's going on. So what we rely on is our relationship that we've built up with that. So we have our keepers here who take care of those animals every single day, or you at home taking care of your dog or cat every day. You know what's normal for them. You know what they eat, how much of it they eat, how they act when they're feeling good, and when things start to change, that can kind of lead us somewhere. So it's really watching them and knowing what's normal, so you notice when something's abnormal, and then we rely on the keepers or the owner of a pet to tell us what's going on, and that kind of leads us down a direction.
I think you really do speak their language. You know, you're just such a pro at this, and I know you love your work. You said so, and we've loved being here with you.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fun job, and I'm lucky to get to do it.
So anybody who's watching maybe they have a young person in their life, or maybe they are a young person. They're thinking, hey, you know what? I think it'd be cool to work with animals all the time. Maybe I should be a vet. What would you say to those people?
It's a lot of work, but I think it's a lot of reward too. So if you're interested in working with animals, being a vet is an option, but there are other options as well. So you can be a veterinary technician, which is basically like a nurse for animals, or you can be an animal keeper. So really getting a feel for exactly what you're looking for working with animals. There's a lot of different roads, but just find what you want to do and stick with it. I think I knew from a young age I wanted to do this, and I really stuck with it even when it was difficult. It's a lot of schooling, but then once you get here, it's really rewarding.
Yes, now look where you are now.
Yep.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Dr. Nestor. We're going to go get some more questions asked and answered.
Have fun.
My name is Ellie, and I'm 5 years old. And why do elephants like peanuts?
Ooh, that's a good question. So what did we do? We came over to Elephant Land, and we are talking with Joey Powell, who is the PR person here at the Dickerson Park Zoo. And I said it was Elephant Land. You probably have a different name for this area.
We do. This is our tropical Asia area of the zoo. So the zoo is broken down. When you visit, you're walking through continents. So we are now in Asia.
Asia. All right. So Shelby, are you ready to get the answer to this question? This is, I think, the youngest person who's ever asked a
I
question.
know it, and it's
on
a
Tell
good
Me Why.
one.
It really is. So what is your answer?
They don't really like peanuts.
They
That is
don't?
the answer. No, that is actually a myth. It was kind of created from, you think of elephants at a circus.
Oh.
Now, our elephants do eat peanut butter balls.
Huh.
Okay.
So kind of in a way, Ellie, they do. But when we think of elephants eating those peanuts, so the way that they get peanut butter here is if you have a dog at home, you know, that's my favorite
Right.
animal, my dog, and when he needs a pill, when he needs some medicine, I hide it in a little piece of bread and peanut butter or in cheese. And this is the same thing that we do for the elephants. These are special treats. So all the animals at the zoo get special treats.
Well, they're special animals, aren't they?
Along with their diet. So sometimes the elephants will get peanut butter balls. And if you think of a no-bake cookie, that's kind of what this looks like. Only it's about this
Oh,
big.
yeah.
Is it
And
really?
It really is. And it's going to have peanut butter and oats and maybe some molasses and some other things. But you can hide a pill in there if we have to get if one of the elephants needs some special attention.
Okay.
So they do like those, but it's not a part of their diet. And so African elephants, you're not going to find those peanuts in their diet in the wild. And Asian elephants, you're not going to find that peanut in their diet in the wild. And so we try to make sure that they are eating very healthy. And so their peanuts are going to come in the form of a very special peanut butter ball.
That's
Okay.
just a myth that we've all assumed, I guess, because of the circus.
Exactly.
Who's behind us right now? They just walked
Oh,
on over.
they
Do you
moved
know which
over.
one that was?
That was Hugo. He's gonna probably come around here.
Okay.
Hugo is our youngest elephant here. He's a young male elephant. We have a bull elephant that's full grown. Elephants are incredibly dangerous. And
Are they really?
They're incredibly dangerous and they're incredibly smart. And Hugo is about like a teenage boy.
Oh,
So
no.
he's very playful and sometimes a little stubborn
Yeah.
and to do what the keepers ask him to do, but he's a very, very fun elephant.
Oh,
And
the,
occasionally, when you find the golf carts missing, that it's the little teenager elephant is the one who's been out partying all
Been
night,
party-
right?
You know, now Asian elephants are smaller than African elephants, but he's still way too big for the golf cart.
yeah.
Okay, all right. The golf carts just aren't big.
Yes.
Now, I have one more question
Okay.
because we're on the same. All right, so they don't want to eat the peanuts. That's the myth. They eat the giant peanut butter balls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How does it get out of the zookeeper's hands and into the mouth of the animal? You explain to me, and I will sort of do it on camera. Okay, so I will give you the microphone so you can explain it. And let's say that I'm the elephant and Shelby is the zookeeper.
Okay.
So, show me how this works. And here's my trump.
All right.
Okay.
I
I
never
don't even
know
have to
where
explain it.
he's
You know
gonna
what?
take this.
What?
It's going to be like a bowling ball. They roll it.
They
Really?
roll it.
Because again, what I said, they're dangerous animals, and so we
Uh-huh.
don't have contact.
Okay.
Now, sometimes the keeper will have, depending on the elephant, can hand them, and they will take it with their trunk. So you can take that.
So you would take it with your, like if
But
you
I'd
brought-
roll it
might
for
reach-
you.
Well, the peanut butter ball can be rolled, and sometimes
And
they
then
just
the
toss the
trunk's
food.
gonna.
And this
Well-
is
Okay.
the trunk. That's the trunk.
Yep.
And it holds on to the peanut butter ball like this.
And they pull it up and scoop it
then-
up. So now the crazy thing is, one, their trunk can have like 56. I've got to get this right. Thousands of muscles. I'm just going to go with
Oh
that.
my
There's
God.
so many muscles, and elephants are right trunked or left trunked, and they mirror that. They
way.
learn it from their mama. They mirror their mama,
Even
That
though
is
they just
amazing.
have one trunk. So
and they're going to scoop this way or they're going to scoop this
And
way.
they do it mirrored because they're across from them.
Cut across from mama
How
as babies.
interesting. Yeah.
I could be an elephant now if I needed to.
You're gonna have to put on a lot of weight.
I'm happy to do that, actually. All right, I think we have another great question. Okay, let's find out what that is.
My name is Stella Newkirk, and I am 10 years old. And I want to know why elephants live in Africa.
Ooh, Stella, that is a fantastic question. And you're giving me this look like the answer is maybe a little bit more complicated than we might think. So tell the truth about why they are or aren't from Africa.
Well, just like you have animals that are native to certain animals, African elephants are native to the continent of Africa, and they're considered one of the big five that you would go to. A lot of people, if they would take a safari, one of those big five that they want to see, and elephants, when we think of elephants, most people think Africa. But what we have here at Dickerson Park Zoo are Asian elephants. And so we're in the tropical Asia section of the zoo. And there are some very distinct differences between Asian and African elephants. African elephants, the easiest way to tell the difference is an African elephant's ear is much larger and it's shaped kind of like the continent of Africa, which I think is really fascinating. That's a great way to point that out.
So these are those
The great big ears, and if you look at that ear and then you look at the shape of the continent of Africa, you can see the similarity. Asian elephants have much smaller ears. They are a smaller elephant than the African elephant. And in Africa, their elephants, the males and females will have tusks. But in Asian elephants, only the males that have tusks. So when you see Hugo, and you see that tusk up here, you know that's Hugo that is on exhibit today.
So why on earth did nature choose to separate these continents with tusks in some parts of the world and no tusks in other parts? Maybe I'm not asking the right question, but do you have any idea why some of those tusks can be out there in places where they shouldn't be?
Well,
That was quite the question, wasn't
I think
it?
that's probably a very deep, scientific.
I'm a deep guy.
Scientific, theological. You could go all different directions on that answer. But with animals, they adapt to their environment.
Okay, so it
And
might
there
be
would
environmental.
it could be environmental. Why that they need those? We'll see that humans. We all adapt to our environment. When it's cold out, you're going to adapt to that. We adapt by wearing coats. Our dogs, if you've got a dog or an animal, or you have a horse or a cow, when winter starts to come, you notice that adaptation is they look fluffier.
Yes, they do.
So there was probably some reason, but that's a very, very deep question.
Yeah, shucks. I got a million of them. Well, thank you so much.
You're
for
a wealth of
answering.
knowledge.
Oh,
Oh, look!
Hugo's back.
Hugo!
Hugo!
I'm gonna move over here, so Hugo, would you like to say anything?
Oh, he's
well-
so cute.
That's thanks for showing up, Hugo. Thank you so much,
Great
Joey.
timing, doesn't he?
Yes,
Perfect.
he
It's
does.
all about the
Perfect.
timing in television. So nice to see you guys. So that's great. Shelby, any more questions about elephants?
I have just
or-
learned so much today. We have had so much fun. She's been taking us around on the golf
been a great
cart,
day.
and we just enjoyed it so much here at the Springfield Zoo. You definitely want to get your family together and come out here and visit.
That's right. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you.
And we're going to head on out of here in just a minute. Boy, did we learn a lot, Shelby.
What a fun day. Thanks for taking us around and letting us meet everybody, learn a lot of things, and hear all the questions answered. This has been a great day with you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
You know, Dickerson Park Zoo, you guys are open all the time, it seems like.
Yes, all year round and all summer holidays.
This would be a fun place to go for like birthday parties. You ever have birthday parties here?
We do have birthday parties. They are for ages 3 to 10, and it is you walk in and basically everything's set up for you. They're great.
Fun.
Talk to mom and dad about that. And if mom and dad want a little bit more information, you could go to their websites using one of those internet things.
DickersonParkZoo.org. You can get tickets. You can get a membership, you can sign up for an education class, look about a birthday party, find our zoo calendar and all the events that we're going to have all season long.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Joey. Shelby, you ready to head back?
I guess I'm ready to head back.
Yeah.
You can stay.
Okay, well,
Okay, we
we're
will.
coming back.
All
This
right.
was a ball. Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot. And that's another edition of Tell Me Why.